radioactive bee there. Oh gosh, that is epilepsy. Holy crap, it froze my computer from doing that. Hello everybody, and welcome back to some more Project Skycapsule. In between episodes, I have been very busy. First and foremost, I have finished up with this little project I made where I remade the ethylene generator. So now with that, we are now able to sustain 2 power pots. I haven't tried any more than this, but so far it is working very well, so I've hooked all this up to a whole system right here, which is giving me even more EMC. And then the last thing that I actually did was I managed to get all of my tier 1 catalysts up to tier 2 because I finished making the last crop right here, the skeleton crop. So yeah, pretty much we just did a bunch of mystical agriculture stuff, leaving just 1 crop left in this entire thing, being uranite, meaning that once I get that, we will have completed the Botania questline. So, say, you know, if I were to grab this dense uranite right here and throw it into a smelter over here, this would theoretically, you know, make us the 4 uranite that we're gonna need. And, you know, let's say theoretically that I took this insanium right here and then converted it into 4 supremum essence, and then I were to place all of those here along with the uranite, you know, all theoretically, and then I'll convert it into this prosperity seed right here, and then we get ourselves the thing, theoretically completing the mystical agriculture chapter. And there we go, we also managed to get ourselves some of the seeds, so now that drawer is all locked and loaded, which means now with all of this together, the last ones that we're going to need to upgrade is just gonna be these mini catalysts. And there we go, we got it all done. It actually didn't take that long, and we even actually got this one right here thanks to the rewards that I had, which means that the only thing left that we could do would be to get the large catalysts, which in order for us to get those, we would need to do the bees, which is actually very convenient because I do intend to do those bees today for a very special reason. The reason is once I finish up this quest on this thing, it'll give me 4 of this green matter. And the green matter is going to be important for this Watch of Flowing Time. And the Watch of Flowing Time is going to make EMC generation all the more efficient. So all that's left for us to do is to get started with this new mod here, the Resourceful Bees. Now, for a lot of these new bees, we are going to need something called a soulless egg. Not for every one of them, others are for breeding, but for most part, it's going to be for this soulless egg, which is a combination of an egg and a soul remover, which we metallurgic infuse some redstone and a mob imprisonment tool, which we just make with 4 plastic and a gas tier. Both things I have automated. I just need to grab a bunch of gas tiers. Alrighty, so I got all the soulless eggs I'm gonna need. I should only need 12, and then I also set up this little area right here with this player filter so where only I can pass through here. And this is where we're gonna be keeping some of the bees. But before we could even utilize this, they first are going to need a home. And this mod actually has some very special ways of getting them their homes, which is going to be new forms of beehives. But before we can even do that, we need a regular beehive, which means we're actually going to need to make this new thing, which is a beehive frame. Now, what's really cool about this is that this way we don't actually need to get honeycombs like you normally would in vanilla. So this way, we can go ahead and just start off with a normal beehive, and I need planks. Go ahead and combine that together, and there we go. We got ourselves our first beehive, which is also EMCable. After that, we're just gonna need to grab ourselves some grass, which I have managed to get. I didn't remember if I did or not, but I do. So with that, we now get ourselves a tier 1 beehive. There we go. Now, in order to get the next beehive, we are actually going to need honeycombs of any kind and beeswax, which is also EMCable, but that is all sorts of other things, which means before we can do that, we need to start making ourselves some of these bees. Let's go ahead and then put the beehive right there. There we go. That can hold a few bees. Very interesting, but it does actually say that there's a smoked thing. I forgot that I need to do that. Alrighty, there's the fire, and then we can go ahead and put that on there, and now this thing is smoked. So then, now that that's over with, we need to go ahead and start making some of the basic bees. Now, there's only 12 of them, which are actually going to need this soulless egg, but I'm just going to start off with one of the basic early tier 1s, and I think that a best one to start with is going to be the coal bee, because that one is going to provide us with a good bit of resources, and I also think that most of these things, if not all of the ones that I'm going to need, are actually on this wall right here. If I remember correctly, yeah, I need to use the induction smelter, which is neither of these. Well, that's not too complicated. I just need another machine frame, which I've EMC'd, sand and invar ingots, and a redstone flux coil, which I've also EMC'd, and then a blast furnace. Okay, yeah, that's not too complicated. Okay, let me grab that real quick. Alrighty, I got myself the induction smelter, so now if we combine the coal with this egg, how long is this thing supposed to take? Is it gonna be... Oh, I don't want to wait for that. Oh, I'm gonna need to use my sexy time in a bottle right here. Just speed that along. Wow, that is really slow. Maybe I should have put an upgrade into here. Slap that into there. There we go. And we also got ourselves our delectable little coal bee spawn egg. Okay, so let's go ahead and then throw this boy right into here. That way he can go ahead and start utilizing his stuff. And, actually, I probably shouldn't have done that yet because he doesn't have anything to pollinate, does he? So we're gonna end up breaking down a bunch of these places so that way we can put the flowers in. Okay, cool. So then let's go ahead and then throw you back down. So now you should fertilize off of that. Either way, though, now that we've gotten the coal bee, only ones left are redstone, tin, iron, copper, I think that one is, and skeleton, which all take their own respective blocks. So I'm gonna grab all of those real quick, and actually, I'm probably just gonna go ahead and do all the craftable ones I can right now, just because, I mean, let's be honest here, I have the missions, I can do it. I'm gonna at least be trying to complete this whole thing today anyway, so I might as well just go ahead and grab them all. Okay, I'll see you all in a bit.
20 minutes later.
Alrighty, it took me a bit, but I managed to get all the craftable bees. Now, I'm not gonna place them all down just yet, because I really can't do that right now, as of things are, but I will be doing it soon. So first and foremost, we need to go ahead and then grab ourselves some shears, because this thing is now ready for some harvesting. So let's go ahead and then grab all of those, and there we go. Very, very nice. Now we got some of the honeycombs, and then we can go ahead and place down this thing right here, which is called the manual centrifuge. And what this thing will do is we get to go ahead and throw those into there, and I am actually going to want to grab some bottles, and then I think I just shift right click it, and yeah, wow, that makes a weird sound, but it breaks it down and has a 50% chance to make a honey bottle, but for the most part, it makes those things. And I also am going to be wanting to look for something else, which is this stuff right here, the beeswax, and then we also get ourselves some coal. But what's more important is this beeswax, because with this beeswax, this is EMCable. And because it is EMCable, we can now go ahead and then move up to the next level of certain things, being this beehive right here, which will take some more honeycombs, but that's fine, the tier 1 thing. And then we can also go ahead and then make the next level of the centrifuge, which will be completely powered, which means I won't need to do this anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and then grab those things, which is going to take some more of this thing to be honeycombs, but you know what, that's fine, it shouldn't take me too long. And then we will be back very soon. And actually, we might be able to get to this next one. Yes, we will, because we'll be able to get all that. Okay, so by the time we get back, I should be at tier 3.
Much later.
So, as you may be able to see behind me, I've been a little bit busy. So I said I was only gonna go up to tier 3, but I actually went up to tier 4 solely because it was pretty much just more the same. The only thing that was different was the honey block, which meant we need 4 honey bottles, and I kind of found a way around that. I decided to make these honey crops, which are actually pretty overpowered in terms of honey production, because it just takes 1 of the essence and a bottle to make a honey thing, and considering how fast I can grow things, it really wasn't that much of a challenge. The only thing that was really difficult was getting 8 the bottles so that way I can make the agglomerate, but I mean, other than that, we got infinite honey. And also over here, I did put down all of my bees, So now they're all doing their own thing. They're just going to keep pollinating things and bring it all over to this nice tier 4 hive right over here, which I did also automate by putting a dispenser back here with a scraper, which is like shears to this thing where it'll take out the honeycombs. It just doesn't have durability. And then I have a timer back there, which will ultimately keep putting a redstone signal into there, causing the things to go out and then get thrown right into this nice chest thanks to this absorption hopper absorbing anything that drops over there. So now I'm basically just waiting for myself to get enough of the honeycombs, because after this, it's gonna be a lot of me making the honeycomb blocks, but I'm also going to need 4 of the beehives to be able to make the next thing, which is called the apiary, where that will start making even more honeycomb, so it's gonna start to build up. And then I'm gonna need 4 of the tier 1 to make the tier 2, 4 of the tier 2 to make the tier 3, etc., all the way up to tier 4. But there's also another kicker, which is nether stars. I don't really have a way to get nether stars as of yet. Well, I mean, I do, but that's gonna be me fighting the wither, so I'm gonna do that. So yeah, I set up a little area right here where I can go ahead and fight the thing. I'm just gonna need to get the soul sand and the wither skulls, which I do have in there. But before that, I want to make sure that I will obtain absolute victory, which means we're going to need a weapon. So I have something very special in mind, but before I can get that, I need to grab myself a bunch of diamonds and a bunch of dark matter, and then also some red matter. There we go. Hopefully that will all be enough. So the first thing we need to make is called a dark matter hoe. Pretty self-explanatory. Then we can also go ahead and make shears, then an axe, and then the sword. This one is the only one that's actually a weapon, but all of these weapons are very powerful. But we can make them better by making the dark matter sword into a red matter sword, and then making all these other things into their red matter counterparts. There we go. But you might be wondering, what the heck is with these two? These two aren't even really weapons. Well, that's where we get into part 3 of this thing. By all of their powers combined, we go ahead and then make ourselves the red Qatar. Oh yeah, baby. All of those things together make probably one of the most powerful weapons in modded Minecraft. Now, just keep this in mind. Just because this thing is a small blade, it does not take away from how powerful it is. Even though it is very tiny, it is extremely efficient.
Good night, everybody.
Alrighty, I gathered up everything, so hopefully this area is big enough for the wither. I'm not entirely certain. It should be, though. Now, let's go ahead and then place on these very special skulls right there. And then we're gonna want to block you off from being able to shoot anywhere, just so that way he doesn't destroy my life. Okay, so, oh, I forgot that he's not muted on this one. Alrighty, there we go. It's all good now. So, yeah, he's still killing himself, but we don't want him to do that. We want to test out this nifty red Qatar. So, what you do with this thing is you can hit normally, and it does about, I think, yeah, it does 24 attack damage. But if I press C, oh gosh, I didn't think it would kill him instantly. Okay, so to explain what happened, the red Qatar has a nifty ability, because, you know, Project E stuff has secondary abilities, where it does an AoE attack that does way more damage. I don't know how much more damage it does, but it does more damage. So, yeah, we can one-shot withers. So, in that light, then, let's go ahead and kill the rest of these two. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Wait, can I kill it? Okay, I'm just gonna keep spamming. Spam! And now it's dead. Okay, so I managed to kill all the withers. It didn't take that long. So now what we need is gonna be 4 of this Insanium Essence, because I don't want to have to keep killing that wither over and over again, even though it really isn't complicated. I don't want to spend that much time when I can instead just grow nether stars. I can go ahead and then just keep on growing these, and then that turns into the nether star essence. Now, nether star essence doesn't actually work like the other ones do, because if we go into here and then we see the essence, it actually only makes a nether star shard, and then you need 3 of those shards to be able to make the nether star. So you actually need 27 essence rather than the normal 9, which is fair. You know, it's pretty fair. So I'm just gonna go ahead and then keep grinding up all of these, so that way we can now go ahead and then get up to the next level, being the apiary. Alrighty, it took me a little while, but I've managed to get enough of everything. Thankfully, it doesn't all need to be the same honeycomb blocks, but with this, we now have ourselves the new block, the apiary. Now, I am going to need to grab a hammer just to turn this thing around, which I actually found out does work on these things. Oh, okay, well, clearly this isn't gonna work, but oh. Okay, I figured out what this thing needs. I had to look it up, and apparently what I was doing before is no longer necessary, but what is necessary is gonna be something called an apiary storage. So I'm going to need to grab myself 4 more honeycomb blocks, and hopefully they don't need to be of the same kind. It hasn't been before, but then hopefully we should now be able to combine it all, and yes, we could. There we go. Now we have ourselves our apiary storage. So if we put that there, we need to go in here and check if this is in the black area. It is, and now we click validate. I am not missing the apiary storage block. The apiary storage block is right here. Okay, I understand everything. Everything is within my realm of knowledge now. So, that whole area that it was kind of showing, I was somewhat right. This did need to be in it, but so did an entire structure. So I decided to put this to a separate point, and it now works. It's beautiful. And I've now also learned how to actually use this. It's a little interesting, actually. It's very, very different. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to grab a bunch of andesite so that way I can replace all this. So now if I go back into here, and then I go ahead and then put down those same blocks that I just took out into here, we're going to want to place them down oh so specifically, and we can go ahead and put this last one right here. Probably should have gone for the other one, but that's fine. So now all that's left for me to do is to go ahead and I need to take the iron, coal, redstone, and copper bees. And I actually found a really neat way to contain them. It's actually going to be... It's not in any of that one. Okay, that's good. But it's actually with this thing called the bee box, where you can actually hold up to 10 different bees. So it's actually really cool. And then you can shift right click it and release them all. Okay, and now I need to transfer their captivity to these jars, and then we can put, say, this one right here, and then we click import. And now, it's a part of the apiary. There we go. We can go ahead and then do this with all of these ones, and I can have up to 9 bees. So then after that, what I can do is I can go ahead and then unlock these guys, and now they'll start to go out and go straight for their blocks of choice. There we go. And then once they start to retrieve their stuff, it will go into the apiary storage, which I can actually upgrade using these things right here. I'm just going to need to make another apiary, which means I'll need more honeycombs. Oh, how unfortunate, as I do not have enough of those honeycombs. Except... I do. So what I discovered is that all of these things can actually use the normal honeycomb blocks, which you can get from normal honeycombs, you know, the good stuff. But apparently normal honeycombs can be made with 3 of the honeycomb essence, and it gives me 6. And I've had honeycomb essence this whole time. So yeah, if I put a formation like this, each time I harvest them, since 3 gives me 6, I'm pretty sure. If each of these give me 1, I get 24 per each. Oh, wait, and here's something even better. These honeycombs are cheaper, because normally you would need 9 of them for these things. Yep, lo and behold, the normal honeycomb blocks worked. So, yeah, that was way cheaper. Okay, cool. So now with that, we can go ahead and then make ourselves an iron storage. And then if we repeat the recipe again, but this time with gold and replace the honeycombs, we can go ahead and make up to the gold one. We can then keep doing this from diamond after that to emerald. And I don't think there's any after that. Yes, it does look like that is indeed the maximum. And, oh, hey, I appear to have done really good things. Oh, and yep, this is definitely filling up, so we're gonna... Oh, gosh! That fills up a lot of space. So, yep, there we go. Now we got all of that going along, which means... Actually, I think I could... Yeah. Yeah, actually, now that I'm looking back at this, all of this is way easier now, because... It's gonna be a bit grindy, but I think I might actually be able to make it to the tier 4 apiary. It's just that it's gonna be just all of this over and over again, because you need to keep on going, because like for... Okay, so for tier 2 versus the tier 1, you need 4 of that apiary, then 4 of those, and then a nether star. Then you need 4 of those, and then 4 nether stars, and then just 1 honeycomb. Okay. And then you need 4 of the tier 3 and all of that. Okay, yeah, I could totally do that. It's just gonna take me a long time for that. So instead of doing that on screen, I am gonna do it off screen, and you will all see it by the end of the video, hopefully. I'm gonna start breeding some bees, because a lot of the bees that we have remaining are breedable. And, well, actually, we need to breed to be able to get them. I think it's just going to be, yeah, these guys all right here. And I'm not even going to need to do all of those guys on screen either. I just need to show the breeding process of the bees. Actually, I think this thing also has a breeder, so I might not even need to do that. Yeah, I'll figure that part out off screen. Alright, I have made my dedicated bees of choice. They are going to be the coal and iron bees. So we got these two right here. So let's go ahead and then lure the iron bee right here, and then we get the coal bee over here, feed them both iron and coal, and then they will create a new bee. It's like the birds and the bees, but without the birds, it's just bees. And with that, we get steel. Wait, birds and bees without bees. Would that be gay? Questions for later. But either way, with that, we now got ourselves our steel bee. And that is going to be how this all works, because different bees are going to be combinations of each one, and then eventually those combinations will be needed to make other combinations. So yeah, pretty much throughout this quest line, we got all the bees that we're going to need to make all the breedings and stuff like that. There is one bee in particular that is not like the rest of these and can actually only be accessed through mutation. So the first thing that we need is this steel block right here, so that way we can have the bee pollinate it. But the next thing that we're going to need is we're going to need to grab ourselves 4 lead ingots, and then using some lead and some steel, we can go ahead and then make ourselves this radioactive waste barrel. Now, I don't know if I can just have it be this one alone, or if I actually need the steel block to be there to entice it. But what's going to happen is the steel bee will want to come out, and it will want to pollinate its block, being steel. But it will have a chance to want to pollinate this, which should then mutate it into the other thing. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna go ahead and start breeding up the bees. That way we can get the rest of them, get ourselves all the way up to the highest tier of apiary, and then we will be almost done. Oh boy, this is gonna be challenging.
Many unbearable hours later.
Alrighty, this took me forever, but with all the powers combined, we finally have ourselves our tier 4. Oh my gosh, this really did just take absolutely forever. But with that, that is now this portion of the quest done. The apiary is fully completed, and there is no more left to do for it. Like, this took me so long, I actually had to make a small automation over here where I was just pumping out the things to make the honeycombs, the honey blocks, and then the honey. Oh my gosh, it took me so long, but no more. It is all done now. I never have to worry about that again. Either way, though, final thing for me to do, since I was able to get all of the bees, like, seriously, look at this many jars. Oh my gosh. There was some other processings that I figured out how to do, involving putting bees in jars and putting them there, and then putting the things they pollinate there, exuding another bee. But all of that is no longer important, because now we are going to get into the final levels of the centrifuge right here. And these ones are going to be multi-block structures. So we're going to need to get ourselves 35 centrifuge casings, and then 1 centrifuge controller. And then after that, we'll need the same number for the elites. Okay, well, I managed to get everything I needed from the nether, so now all that's left for me to do is grab myself a buttload of iron. Who knows how much I'll need. And then also this waxed block. Now, these things actually weren't too difficult to get. It just took me waxing some planks and then going down a process of lines of compression. It really wasn't too difficult. But now with that, we now get ourselves these centrifugal casings. I needed more of those wax blocks. Gosh dang it. So if we go ahead and make this thing one more time, there we go. Now we're at our 6. Now, we are going to need more of these. I'm not going to deny that. But what I am going to deny is that I did not pick this up earlier because I needed it. I'm definitely going to deny that. I never did any such thing. So after that, we're just going to need to go ahead and then make ourselves 35 of these things, I believe. And, oh, we are well past. Crap. Either way, though, now we have ourselves the whole thing for this one, but we are not going to be using it, as we need its components to create the next centrifuge. Oh, gosh, it's getting even worse, because one of these makes 3 of these. Oh, gosh. Okay, so we're gonna need those things before we can even get into this. Oh, wow, this one's expensive. It takes Eyes Vendor, Ender Pearls, Netherite blocks. Wow. I'm really glad I decided to make myself some netherite seeds. Hopefully this should be enough for the stuff, so let's go ahead and then make ourselves the elite controller. There we go, that's that one done. And now we can go ahead and then just throw the rest of this in here. I really gotta hope that this will land be enough. Okay, so let's go ahead and then just slowly build it up, slowly build it up. I needed more netherite, crap. Okay, now it should be enough. It's not gonna be even, I already know that for a fact. But you know what, at the very least, we can go ahead and then make this. There we go. Oh, and it was even! Yes! I thought it wasn't gonna be, but there we go, we got it! Oh my gosh. So basically what this thing is gonna do is if I were to go over somewhere where I'd have space for it, I'll go ahead and just throw it here for the sake of throwing it here. So what I do is I just put a little space like this and then put that there, and then I basically just build this thing up kind of like a reactor of some kind for multi-block structures, and then we can just go ahead and build this up the rest of the way, and hopefully that should work. Yep, that it is. There we go. With all of that done, we've almost completed all of Resourceful Bees. There is just one last thing that I have yet to do in terms of all of this. The last thing that I have yet to do is I have yet to actually gaze upon the bees, which was one of the requirements of my mission. So let's go ahead and throw a radioactive bee there. Oh gosh, that is epilepsy. Holy crap, it froze my computer from doing that. Ugh. Okay, but now after that, all we gotta do is just mass plop down all these bees. Alrighty, here we go. 3, 2, 1. There, emerald! Arg bee, I already know what you are. Aluminum, crap. No, blaze, yes. Silver, yes. It's very much gonna be random because I'm just throwing everything down. Everything will go. Is that lead? That's lead. I already saw lead. Crap. But let's go again with another roulette. Go! Osmium. Yes. Pigsman. Yes. Platinum. I already saw you. Dang it. Gold. Yes. Nickel. Yes. Dielectric. Oh my gosh. Here we go. I'm just gonna spam them. I'm just gonna spam them all. I'm gonna spam everything. Okay. That should be almost good. Okay. Cinnabar. And then diamond. And yes! Oh my gosh. It's finally done. I can't believe it. I finally did it. Look at all those bees. They will find no rest in there because I do not have enough hives for them. But you know what? That does not matter. I am done. I am not procrastinating on any of this. Let's go ahead and then mark off our rewards for today. And there we go. We can go ahead and collect everything that we have gathered. And before we end the video, let's make today's achievement. We put our clock there, the glowstone, the obsidian, and finally 4.40 billion EMC all together for the Watch of Flowing Time. Oh my gosh, baby, there we go. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a dark matter pedestal. Go ahead and plop this right here. That should work. And then we can go ahead and just speed up everything. Oh lord, that speeds up everything. That may be a little too fast, actually. I'm gonna have to sort that out another time. That's fine though. Did you like this video? Good. And be sure to check out the last video where we did some botania, so that way we were also able to obtain another form of time manipulation as well as gain wireless power. Hope to see you all there. Bye-bye!